Hi one and all, we are well known that so many material and compounds are around us. All the compounds are formed by chemical bondings. To understand how the chemical bonds occur, how the compounds are formed. So, we are discussing ionic bonds by using the Lewis dot structure. How the ionic bonds are formed, it is explained by Lewis in very easy way. So, that is how the ions are formed, how the ionic bond is forming. For ionic bond, any activity can we do, we will discuss in this video. So, we know that the elements are by losing or gaining, what happening? Yes, they are forming ions. If the elements are losing electrons, means they are losing the negative charged particles. So, negative charged particles are they losing. So, that is what they are gaining positive charge. Which elements are gaining the elements? They are forming the negative ions. So, in the ionic bond means ions and bond. So, ions are forming, and that ions, when the ions come together and they are forming in the bond, and they come near by near, and due to the electrostatic forces they will attract, because all the unlike charged particles will be attracted, like charged particles will be repelled. So, in the ionic bond, so different and negative ion particles and positive ion particles when come together and near, so due to the electrostatic forces they attract each other and they form compounds, in this way. To explain this one, we will go for one example, explanation of one example. Let us see, best example is sodium chloride. So, best example for formation of ionic bond is sodium chloride. So, here you see sodium, it is already we discussed sodium electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So, one electron is there in its outermost orbital, that is represented by a dot, because it is a Lewis dot structure. So, similarly we can, if sodium ion loses one electron, 1 unit of positive charge it gains and 1 electron is losing. Similarly, chlorine ion, chloride ion. So, chlorine, its atomic number is 17, electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So, 7 electrons are there in its outermost orbital, it needs 1 electron to get its octet in its outermost orbital. So, chlorine need 1 electron to get octet in its outermost orbital. Already sodium need 1 electron to lose to get octet in its outermost orbital. Sodium already lose 1 electron. So, chlorine attracted that electron and it gains the electron, it forms the chloride ion. So, positive ion and a negative ion, when these two come near and near, they form sodium chloride. In this bonding, chemical bonding, in the formation of the sodium chloride, there is a ions are bonding. So, due to the electrostatic forces. So, that is what this is called ionic bond. This is the best example of ionic bond. Not only sodium chloride, magnesium chloride and as well as aluminum chloride also best examples for ionic bond. To explain these sodium chloride formation, we have an activity. For that activity, so here to do this activity I am using a laminated sheet and different color buttons. I am using different color buttons. So, you see here in the sodium 1 electron is there, and in the chlorine 7 electrons are present in its outermost orbital. Now, I am using yellow color button to represent 1 electron of outermost orbital, electron of sodium, and other 7 electrons of chlorine. You see, it is very easy to represent the electrons by using the buttons. You see here 1 electron, here 7 electron. It need to lose 1 electron to get octet in the outermost orbital, and chlorine need to get 1 electron to get octet in its outermost orbital. So, sodium loses 1 electron, and similarly you see sodium loses the 1 electron and chlorine gains that electron, and by losing sodium it gets 1 positive charge, and by gaining 1 electron chlorine gets negative charged. Both positive and negative charged particles come together and attracted by the electrostatic forces. So, then they form a bond when they came near and near. So, by these they form a bond. These ions are participating in the chemical bond. So, that is what it is called ionic bond. In the ionic bond, sodium chloride ion will be formed. This is the best example for the ionic bond.